welcome in to the square and the round. I just told BB Shea something. Chris Kelly sitting right here. There's BB Shea.
What up?
It's always good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
I wake up every day, every morning. I put my feet on the floor and I say, let's go kick ass today. And I do that.
That's a great way to start the day.
You think?
I do.
I'll tell you the best. Here's what well, first of all, I do that. I say, let's go kick ass today. Then I go into the bathroom and I have flatulence like you wouldn't believe. I mean, just cut loose. My wife is asleep. I close the door. I'm getting ready to get into the shower.
Yeah.
And this is at my age, that when you get to this age, it's like that's one of the real high points of your day. When you really let it go early in the morning before you've done anything, you're just like, yeah.
You don't fart in the bed?
No, I try not to. My wife really, really frowns on that. I don't want to.
That's interesting. You're a gentleman for that.
Well, I appreciate that.
I would never think to even consider anybody else's feelings when it comes to my farting.
No, that's a real no. She's on, and I don't say that word. You know, I don't like
I'm
that
sorry.
word.
My
I don't
bad.
like that
My
word.
bad.
My wife has only done that in front of me one time in the 25 years I've known her.
What was the occasion? Was it a special date?
No, we had been married probably a year, maybe less, and she was just getting up off the couch and she let it slip. And I just looked at her and said, was that you? And she was so mortally embarrassed, she just ran off. And I was like,
and it's never happened again.
Never again.
What a lady. Wow.
Oh, she is.
Y'all are a nice couple. I want to hang out with you guys sometime.
Thank you. Well, it ain't all of it bed of roses. I can tell you that.
Okay.
But I think we're a good couple. But sometimes I let them slip around her.
Yeah.
And she'll say, and that, by the way, as you get older, the more you're just kind of like, all right, I'll just do this, And you take your punishment, but then...
I find it harder to clench,
Yeah.
It's sometimes it don't even mean to let it out. It just kind of slides out.
You're young, and you should not be having... You shouldn't be having that issue just yet.
No, but
My grandmother used to have it.
I'm starting to notice it a little bit. I heard a comedian describe it as like an unclosed bag of leaves in the front yard. It's like it's
just going to slip out.
It's containing a little bit, but some of it's going to slip out. Yeah,
going to get out. That's kind of right. My grandmother, we used to play checkers when I was a little kid, and she would just sit and just boom. I mean, there they go. And I'd be like, God, Meemaw. And she's like, well, there's nothing I can do. She's just like, what can I do? I can't control it.
I caught my grandma farting during a funeral one time.
Oh, God.
She was sitting down after the singing, and she just let it go.
Oh, well, again, at that age. When you're young, when you're old, you can't control things. I think that's the way to the younger you are and the older you are. I mean, look, basically that's just an epiphany I just had. You start, and I'm sure this has been said a million times, but you start with a diaper and you end with a diaper.
That's right.
Yeah. Although I did see a woman the other day who was 104 and skydiving. Skydiving at 104. They think it's a record. They have to review it.
At what age? I was getting ready to say this. At what age do you just stop caring, though? Like a lot of it, you lose motor functions, but
I think for me it was about 10 years ago. I really just gave up. Look at my wardrobe, for God's sake.
I would be inclined to go skydiving. If I make it to 100, I will go skydiving. Would you do it? Yes.
She did it for her 100th birthday.
Yeah.
And now she's 104 and did it again. And I think the reason was, what there really was no, she wanted to redo it because she enjoyed it so much the first time. And they think she's the oldest ever to do it.
At that age, anything to increase my chances of ending it.
Yeah, really.
Just let it get it over with.
At that point, why not?
Yeah.
You're 104.
That's wild.
And still going. But I want to be that.
You want to be 100.
I heard a guy today, it was the CEO of JP Morgan Chase, a big financial conglomerate, He says that kids today will likely live to be 100 because of artificial intelligence. It was Jamie Dimon is his name.
That makes sense.
He's saying that cancer will be much less prevalent. You have a pill for everything. Everything will be done for you. You have to work less. He said a 3.5 day work week too. That would be against what you like. You like to work.
I like going to work.
I know
I really do.
You get your hands dirty. You get into something.
Honestly, though, I just started my new part-time job.
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that. I was so excited for you.
Yeah.
So many times I've congratulated you on this new.
It's a weird thing to congratulate somebody for.
You're a shelf stocker at a grocery store.
Yeah.
And so you're doing that kind of work. And what are your thoughts on it?
I almost quit my first day.
The first day?
I almost quit.
And did you?
It was bad, man.
Really?
It was bad. So I'm stocking shelves. It's 4p to 10p, right? After working a full day of work.
God.
And then I go work another 6 hours, right?
Man, that's a long day.
And it is. But what we do on a normal basis is not very taxing.
Not physical labor
a lot of
here.
Sitting down, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of sitting down and typing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I go from this to that, and I'm basically, it's like boxing. I'm basically getting off the couch.
Yeah.
On my feet on a hard surface for 6 hours, stocking shelves, picking stuff. I was 3 hours in, and I looked at my phone. And I'm like, "There's no way I'm going to do this."
That's a hard work.
It's bad,
but that's long.
Yeah,
I mean, you're here. What time do you get here?
I get here like 7:30, 8 o'clock
in the morning.
Yeah,
and you're going 4 o'clock to 10 o'clock there.
Yeah,
that's a hard day, though.
Yeah, but I don't really consider what I do here. It's work, but it's not taxing. Like I really don't think of it as a toll on my body.
On the couch watching TV.
You know? But I worked again last night, and it's getting better. But that first 3 hours was the worst, man.
Don't you hate that?
It was terrible. I was bending down. I was on the floor stocking stuff. That was bad, man.
I used to do overnights, radio overnights, and when it was midnight to 6 a.m. And the first hour, you're like, okay, yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, even the first two, midnight to 2, you're okay. But about like 3 to 4 a.m., that was the worst.
See, that third shift, that's got to be miserable.
That's hard. The 3 to 4 a.m. Are you doing that? Are you working that second job? Because this pertains to you, hoping to move out of your parents' house.
Yeah, that's the plan.
I just read. Now, this is I brought this in for you.
Yeah.
That most Americans now, in fact, 90% say there's no stigma to that at all anymore. I think it used to be. If you didn't get out on your own by a certain age, people were like, "Oh man, what's wrong with you? He's a bum." Now there's absolutely no judgment for that.
I agree with that, and I don't have a problem with living with my parents. I just like my own space.
Yeah,
the fact that they've invited me in, and they're not charging me anything, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm super thankful for that. But then again, I tell other people, like my friends who are moved out, and they're like, "Honest to God, I would move back if I could."
Yeah, you said that.
Yeah, a lot of my friends were like, "If I had the opportunity, I would."
I liked living with at home with my parents. Because we got along well.
Sure,
and all that stuff. And it's a good thing that there's no stigma to it, because most people do it now. It's like more than half go back
exactly.
in.
Like, it makes sense. I mean, stuff's, we've discussed that. Stuff's so expensive, and it's just a weird time. But, and I don't mind it, but I just like to have my own space.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was saying the prices, well, I've seen that a bunch of retail stores, huge amount of retail stores are closing by the end of the year because of the prices are so high, people aren't buying. It's brick and mortar, so people are buying online, and they're having stuff stolen from them all the time. And these are the big names: CVS, Target, Bed Bath & Beyond, certainly.
Well, do you ever see these videos of like people just walking into CVS with masks, loading stuff up in trash bags? Nobody confronts them. Everybody just sits there and goes, "Okay, this is happening right now." Then they leave, and then nothing happens.
I hate that we're at a place where people do that. Yeah. Of course, nobody's going to stop them because they'll get shot, they think.
Exactly.
At the very least, they'll lose their job. Plus, why are they risking their lives over this crap?
True, and that's the thing to it. But, I mean, I couldn't say that I would put myself in harm's way to stop it either, but... Like the gall of some people just to do that.
Yeah, we're a society here. Yeah. Exactly. The damn gall to go in there and just take stuff just to know that you can take stuff. Sickening.
But then again, what are people going to do? Like if you have the opportunity, I get it. It makes sense. Why not?
Well, but it is stealing.
You got to live by some sort of moral,
some sort of code. I mean, stealing. Do you think it's because we don't teach the Bible like we used to? How about that? There's a hot take for it. How about we don't go to church anymore, so we don't say "Thou shalt not steal" anymore, and there is no moral compass for
that
people.
Very well could be the thing. Yes.
I mean, there's not as many people going to church.
We are losing our Christian values as a country.
Have for many, many years. Now, I'll get made fun of for saying that by some. But it could be that, at least going to church does give some people a moral compass. I mean, we went to church when I was a kid, and it's I would never steal anything just because that's the way you live,
Yeah, but I think the idea behind people going to church has become more so about the religion as much as that, like, just being a good person. Mm-hmm. And that's what church teaches you, just to be a good person.
I think it's gone more extreme
exactly.
than that.
It's not about Christianity or anything. It's just about how to be a good person.
Be a decent person.
And that's it.
And let me say this about these people that go in and steal. It's not. I don't think it's people who are like, oh, my God, I'm down on my luck. I need a loaf of bread for my family and a thing of bologna. It's like going in and smashing and grabbing thousands of dollars worth of stuff just so they can go sell it on the black market.
Yeah, I'm going to take all this cough medicine and just sell it back to people for a higher price. Yeah, it's disgusting.
It is.
That's why
a lot of this, like the Walgreens in the big cities, are just locked. You got to order online.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, a lot of these places have implemented a no chase policy.
Oh, I know that.
To where you can, even if you try to confront somebody about it, then
This relates to price, and I'll do an overrated, underrated for you because you always do them for me. Girl Scout cookies, overrated or underrated? Price going up this year. I just read that.
What's the new price?
The average price for Girl Scout cookie boxes across America since 2015 has been $5 a box. It goes up to $6 a box this year.
Okay, that's not too much of an increase. I'll still pay it.
Well, I know you would. Well, I know that. There was never any doubt you would pay it.
I think Girl Scout cookies are underrated.
They're really
like
good.
them. I think I run into more people who say that they don't like them than they do like them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I know a lot of people who's like, I just don't dig them. I love Girl Scout cookies.
So do I.
And I always feel like I'm supporting somebody, you know, supporting kids to have opportunities to do stuff.
It's to me, it's not like just one flavor. There's many of them you can like or not like. I like they used to be called Samoas. I don't know if they still are or not. Caramel Delights, is that what they are?
Is that the one with the coconut?
Yeah, I like those. You're not a coconut person,
yeah. No. The peanut butter patties are the ones.
Love them.
And then the lemonades, I don't know what they're called anymore.
I like them.
And they just released like a new French toast one that I really dig, too.
And the, what's the one a lot of people like? Just the shortbreads are good.
The shortbreads are fine, yeah.
And, well, of course, the Thin Mint's probably the king of the...
I mean, the Boy Scouts didn't get any cookies.
No, never. Not one thing.
What do they do?
Basically, I don't know. Boy Scouts didn't do anything except now I think if you're in Boy Scouts, it's like, what's going on?
Were you a Boy Scout?
No, I never could. I'm not rugged enough. I'm not rugged enough. What a sad statement is that? I'm not rugged enough for Boy Scouts. I couldn't even be a Cub Scout. My father tried. He's like, do it. I didn't. My neighbor was an Eagle Scout. I mean,
really?
he went on. And that, at the time, my parents were like, look at him. It's so great. Yeah. He's an Eagle Scout. And I didn't know the big deal. I was a couple of years younger than him. But now I look back on it, I thought, my God, he really did something there, didn't he?
Yeah, my dad wouldn't let me or my brother be Boy Scouts.
Why?
Thought it was weird.
Well,
there's a kind of a stigma around it.
There is.
There's a stigma.
I mean, I hate to say that because I think it's a good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool thing,
but not around the Girl Scouts.
Sure,
but around the Boy Scouts. Yes.
I mean, I'm not mad. I was playing sports and stuff like that, but he was like, "Nah, y'all can't do that."
When I was a kid, there was a guy who used to take kids our age to minor league baseball games. Now we lived in a little town that didn't have the minor league team, and he would take us, 30 minutes up the road. And I went like once or twice. My parents let me go, but they really talked about it. I think the reason was they thought the guy was a real perv. And because he was taking kids that he had no real connection to who were just Little League baseball players like myself. Yeah. And he would go to the games even though he had no kids and then take us to minor league baseball games. Yeah. It seemed a little pervy.
And I did have a buddy who was a Boy Scout. He later became an Eagle Scout who did have an issue with that.
Oh, really?
There was actually some weird stuff going on with their Boy Scout leader. So, I mean, there's some reality based around it, but it's kind of bad that you can't trust people around kids.
Oh, God, I know. And today, I don't think, like, as a parent myself now, if somebody wanted to take my 12-year-old child to I'd say no, or I'd go with them. Yeah. I'd go and make sure everything was all right.
But, what if he was, like, involved in the church or something like that? Would you let?
Yeah, if I knew him. But this guy, he just hung around, Little League baseball fields. A little oddly, it was very strange.
You knew people who went and went around with him.
But it was a different time. I don't really know what connection I had to him. He just would take kids to baseball games. He said, hey, he had season tickets to whatever it was, and he would take us to games. But I only went once or twice. Very odd. Looking back now, it was very
that's
strange.
kind of a weird situation.
You see, the parenting, I mentioned this the other day, the parenting challenge I failed. My son is now in college, as you know. He's starting to bet on football games, and unfortunately, he's won a few.
Okay.
And the other day, he had a bet on a Monday night football game. Now, this was Giants and Seahawks. Okay?
Sure, yeah.
So on Tuesday, he texts me and his mother at the same time, but I didn't realize she was on the text. And he says, great news, I just won $60 betting on the Seahawks in the football game. So I write back. Didn't realize his mother was on it. I write back like, ballin'.
Good work, son.
She writes back, you need to be careful with this. You're falling into a trap of gambling, and that can be so serious. So the texts come in at the exact same time. And I'm like, oh, my God. What did I just say?
Should have done that.
Baller! Make it rain.
Get that paper, son.
Jesus, God, what am I doing?
I mean, the more money he makes, the less he's got to ask you for. So, hey.
That's my feeling. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Don't ask me for any cash. But when you lose it, don't come begging to me either, Well,
did you hear about another way that he can make money? So, are you familiar with the YouTuber Mr. Beast?
My son goes to East Carolina.
Yes.
Mr. Beast walks around the campus.
Did you see what just happened?
He gave a guy like
$20,000 to pay his tuition. Just walk up to a random kid. And I was like, that could have been Kelly's son. Imagine if that would have been your son.
Mr. Beast came up to him and said, show me my app on your phone or whatever. And my son, I'm sure, could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure he's got it. You know, this guy is a pretty good guy. I like him.
If you had money like that, would you be that gracious with it?
I'd be so miserly you wouldn't even believe it. I wouldn't. In fact, you wouldn't even know I had that kind of money. I'd just buy some island, and be sitting on it. I wouldn't walk around East Carolina University.
Is that your lottery goal? Like, if you ever won the lottery, you would just go off the grid.
At one point, completely. I said I was going to do something called Kellyville, where I would want to get away. I would buy a place, or several places. I'd buy a place in Boston so I could go see the Red Sox all the time. I'd buy a place in Denver so I could see the Broncos and then a couple of beach places. That's all I'd want.
Okay.
Some beautiful. I mean, you're talking about, because what's the lottery recently got up to over $1 billion.
Yeah, it's $1 billion or
again.
By the time we're doing this.
So, if you win that kind of money, yes, I would do all of that, but I would want my friends to be there with me.
Yeah.
So I would offer them $1 million houses also and call it Kellyville, and they all could be there. But I've sort of modified that over the years because now I'm so lazy. Basically, what I would do now, I think, is buy all the homes around me where I already live, build a nice pool and a pickleball court, and get a nice house at the beach, and that's it. That's
so would you just move the people out of the neighborhood and just
I would give them like double the value of their home so they'd leave and get rid of them. So I would own the whole cul-de-sac, and then I'd put in whatever I wanted, Olympic-sized pool.
That's a solid move.
Yes, and 8 pickleball courts so I could just play all I wanted. That's all I like to do.
But you wouldn't be as altruistic with it or anything. You wouldn't give
I don't know what that word means. There are a lot of words. I told you I don't know what nepotism means.
Nepotism, yeah.
I don't know what altruism. I don't know what that means. What's that Taylor Swift song, Antihero? And she's like, she sings words in it. I don't know what they mean. It must be like she'll say narcissism. Narcissism, I believe, is a word she'll say, and altruism. And I'm like, I don't know, but I like the song.
Basically, narcissism is the opposite of altruism.
There you are.
Yeah. Would you be would you give it out to people? Would you help people? You wouldn't help people at all.
No, I would not.
Nothing like that.
I'd probably set up something. I wouldn't want to go to hell, so I would probably
set up like a foundation or something.
I would definitely do that.
Like a communication broadcasting scholarship in your name. It's your alma mater or something like that.
I never was able to do it well.
So here,
Kelly,
maybe
the Chris Kelly how not to do it scholarship is what I would. That's how I would have it.
I always typically ask people if you won the lottery, who would be the lowest rung of person that you would give money to, the last person that you would give money to.
Would I not give money? The last.
Where would your graciousness cut off for people?
Well, I don't know. It's a good. I probably really would set up some sort of a scholarship.
Yeah.
I like to give back to kids who don't. If I were done to do anything, I would give back to kids. My wife would funnel it toward animals. She can't even watch when the commercials come on and show the animals, who are suffering.
Oh yeah, the Sarah McLachlan ones. Yeah.
She makes me turn the channel immediately, and it'll come on, and with the type of shows I'm watching, Three's Company and that kind of stuff, it comes on a lot. There's really nothing else.
Prime demographic,
and it'll come on, and she'll go no, and leave the room, and I don't know what to say to that. This is animal related too. The Paris has the Olympics in a year in 2024. Do you care about the Olympics?
I'm interested in them. I try to keep
overrated, underrated. The Summer Olympics.
Summer Olympics are underrated.
I hate them.
Winter Olympics super overrated.
I don't like either one of them.
I could care less.
I don't like either one. I think both are very overrated.
You don't watch any of the...
Very little.
It's so hard to keep up. I think that's the most difficult part. Is when are these people swimming? I don't know when these people are swimming. I don't know what they're running.
I never watch it. I never get into it. I mean, people around me. It's another one of those. My big character flaw is when people like something, I automatically hate them for liking it.
Yeah.
So that's the people say, "Oh, I'm a huge Olympic fan." I don't care, and it makes me think less of you.
I do keep up with the basketball because I love seeing the NBA players play. So.
Yeah, that's all right. I like the basketball. I like the hockey in Winter Olympics, but most of those sports, the track and field, I just
cycling, who really cares?
I don't give a hoot. They're trying to get. I saw the headline. It's like Paris tries to get rid of this before 2024 Olympics. I assumed it was the homeless. I really did. I mean, I saw they're moving them out, a year in advance because Paris has a big homeless problem. It's bed bugs. Do you know that?
Bed bugs?
Yes, 12% of homes in Paris and hotels have had bed bug issues in the last 5 years. And that's a huge problem. Bed bugs are disgusting.
I've heard recently that Paris is trash.
It's nasty.
Like, it's a disgusting place. And, like,
There's
I
more
don't know
rats
why
there
you would
than
ever want to go.
I've been. Have you ever been?
No, I've never been.
I was there in...
Have I ever been? You could have answered that question. You know I've never been to Paris.
Right.
Do I look like someone who goes to Paris?
No, you're not I wouldn't say.
They wouldn't let me in, like, on a weight limit.
It's true. You're too heavy for Paris.
I'm too heavy for Paris.
It's too. I hated it. A lot of people really like it. People because it's lights and there's beauty and all that. I hear there's a ton of rats.
Yeah.
I hear there's a ton of bed bugs. Obviously, a homeless issue, which we just talked about. I did not like it much at all. But I was young. I was in my where was I? Well, my parents took it. We went when I was in my teens. 17, 18, and we went. And in fact, the Olympics were going on then. Albertville, France, the Winter Olympics.
Okay,
we went to those Olympics.
Really?
How about that on a whim?
Just on
took a train to Albertville.
Yeah.
Watched the speed skating.
Okay.
There was a guy, Dan Jansen, who was a great speed skater, but he fell in Albertville and finished
really.
Yeah, and he should have won. He eventually got it in Lillehammer, I believe. He won one of the medals. But I don't like Olympics. And when I saw they were trying to get rid of bed bugs, like, my God, what a problem to deal with.
That's gonna make people not want to go there. That's gonna kill the tourism.
They're on the trains and all sorts of stuff as well. It's just
honest, people are gonna go regardless. It doesn't matter what's gonna be there.
I don't know that they will. The ratings for the last Olympics were horrible.
Really,
it was. I think they took place in Russia or China, and we didn't.
That was the 2020 one though. The 2020,
but there was a 22. There was a 22.
It was a 22.
Well, the 22 were winter, and those were really poorly rated. They were in China, and they were very poorly rated.
Didn't they delay the Summer Olympics because of COVID? And then they have it in 21.
By a year. They had them in 21.
Which that makes sense, I guess.
Correct.
Because I could understand people not wanting to travel for it.
That was Japan. And Japan were supposed to have them in 20.
That's right, yeah.
Didn't because of COVID. Had them in 21, but even still, it was compromised. 22 was the Winter Olympics, which were in China, and there was such a difference. Like in 2008, China had the Summer Olympics, and it was enormous.
Huge.
Michael Phelps, all of that. Then they have the Winter Olympics in 22, and we have turned our back on China. Because now we're in a big fight with China and all that. So what overrated, underrated do you have for me? I know you always do.
We're just moving into spooky season. I'm just going to ask about Halloween. I want to know what you think about Halloween.
I love Halloween.
Do you?
Yeah, I really do. I find it... I guess it's not really underrated because everybody seems to like it.
True.
But I love horror movies, and I like the whole vibe of it. And I like the weather. I like the month of October. I think it's really good.
It's the perfect time, man.
It is.
It's getting cool outside.
It's good.
Everybody's eating candy. Everybody's having a good time, just chilling. I think it's a fantastic holiday. I think it's the great way to kick off the holiday season.
Not only October, could it be the best month of the year? Because... the weather's great here.
Yeah.
It starts to, not be so oppressively hot.
Mm-hmm.
You can still get outside and do stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to play golf or whatever
Absolutely.
you're playing, it's great. Halloween is really good. The baseball playoffs are going on. The World Series.
We're in the middle of the NFL season. College football's going on.
It's good.
Hockey's back up.
It's a good time.
Yeah, it might be the best month of the year.
It's a really good one. Do you think, this is sports related, do you think the Bucks are going to be the odds-on favorite to win the NBA championship because they got Damian Lillard?
Yes.
I do too.
I think they'll win it.
That's a pretty big thing.
That was a big thing. And
the Nuggets, though, are still...
I don't think they're going to... I don't think the Nuggets are that good.
How can you say that?
I think they're fine. They got talent. I think this last season was a fluke. I don't think.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think that they were supposed to win the championship this past year.
I feel like they're young and really good. They got Nikola Jokic, who's the best
great.
player in the league.
Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think he's. Yeah.
Who's that? Jamal Murray?
Jamal Murray, yeah.
And they've got other players that are good role players.
True.
Did you hear the... somebody told me this. I don't know. I'm not positive it's true. The punch Jordan Poole laid, or Draymond Green laid on Jordan Poole, that laid over the whole Golden State season.
Huge year, huge story.
Whose side were you on? You probably like Draymond Green, don't you?
He's one of the ones on the Warriors that I don't mind. Because I hate Steph Curry.
I know.
I hate Klay Thompson. I don't mind Draymond.
The rumor is, the rumor of why he punched Jordan Poole?
No.
Apparently Jordan Poole runs his mouth a lot, period. They're both trash talkers.
Yeah.
So in practice, something Jordan Poole said to Draymond Green was, "You're just a backpack for 30." Now, 30 is Steph Curry.
Of course.
And what he means by that is he just carries you everywhere you go. You're just an expensive. He said you're an expensive backpack for 30.
Wow.
Which got him punched in the face.
Yeah.
And I thought it was over the line to say something that is true.
True, yeah.
So I thought that was over the line.
That's probably why he hit him. He probably heard it because it was true. Most people react negatively when they hear stuff that's true.
That's true.
Yes.
When you tread too close to the truth, I mean, he could have said something about your mama or what. That's not true.
Yeah, all that stuff that's, you know it's not true. But come on, bro. If you were on any other team, nobody would care about you. You wouldn't be a Hall of Famer on any other team.
Exactly.
Yes.
I mean, he is being carried, obviously, by...
I didn't know what it caused that.
I just heard that as a rumor, so maybe it's not true, but that's the scuttlebutt.
Now, if Jordan Poole's really not the person to be saying that to Draymond Green, but
probably not.
I could see why he got socked in the face over it. Yeah,
he sure did, and then they leaked that video. Of course, I believe they kept Draymond Green and traded.
Yeah, Jordan Poole's on the Wizards now.
Yeah, so never to be heard from again.
No, probably never to be heard from again.
Do you have another over/under for me?
Yeah, let me check it out. All
right,
I had a few lists.
All right, I knew you would.
What do you think about weddings?
I like weddings.
Really?
I think they're fun. Yeah, I really enjoy them. I think they're underrated. I think you can go and just really have a nice time. I like them.
I'm not married, of course, and the whole build up.
Very doubtful you ever will be.
Probably will never will be. and the reasons the whole build up to weddings, like the invitations and stuff. I just think that whole thing is played out. I don't need to save the date. Don't send me a card to save this date. And I don't care that you're in a field laughing with your significant other, holding your puppy. I don't care. Just tell me when to be at the wedding.
You don't like the build up to the wedding.
No, absolutely not.
But I like marriage. I think marriage is something we're losing. I think marriage is something that people are not getting married as much as they used to.
I could see that. Yeah.
I think, I think that union and then have kids after marriage. I'm big time judgy, as you know. So I just like the traditional family.
I don't know. I just think, I think that's kind of going out the window. I think you're right. I think less and less people are getting married, less and less people having kids. I think we're going to see a huge population decrease over the next 20 to 50 years.
Well, I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that we won't have as many people, which I always thought that's probably a good thing,
I'm not against it. Yeah. Breathe better,
eat more. There's less food that you need to go around. But I've read the opposite, that you need people to keep the world going. You need a certain amount of people, and we're lower than we should be.
What's interesting to me, though, about weddings is, I've been to several weddings of Americans marrying Americans, but I know that there's this thing with, foreign weddings where they'll give money. Like, people will give the bride and groom money on the night of the wedding.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
And I've heard where somebody went to it was like Croatian wedding, where I think the bride and groom raised an extra 40 or 50 grand the night of the wedding for them.
Yes.
I'm like, why don't Americans do that? Why is that not something that we do?
What a great idea.
Give them a head start at least, or at least pay for the wedding.
Right. Well, yeah. That's what I guess we could do it that way. We give gifts typically. You register.
I don't need a toaster. Give me some cash.
But you can register for what you want, and then you have all your plates and all that.
And that to me is weird. And it's the same thing with having kids. I think wedding and baby registries are so weird.
Really?
Yes, I really do.
It's a tradition.
Here, buy this for me and my child.
Yeah, you really
I know you want to
get
me a gift. Why do you It's not a surprise, though.
I told you what I saw. This was 6 or 7 months ago, maybe a year. I was driving home from work, and I saw a guy or whoever, a car that had a billboard in the back of it, painted on the back window, getting married in a month, whatever. Help us out. Go to, it was a Cash App, whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
At Cash App, whatever. And I thought, you got some nerve. You got some gall to ask for money for your wedding from people you don't even know. And then the thing is, people are stupid enough to go give money to it.
Well, that's the exact same thing, though. I mean,
yes, but if you know me and you're invited to the wedding,
but why not? Why not do it?
I hate that.
Why not?
Well, why not just stand out on the corner and with a sign that says "Give me money"?
Why not?
Because that's beneath you.
What do you mean that's beneath you? Who cares?
Do it.
But I might. I might not be able to work this part-time job anymore. I might just
you're begging for money.
Yeah,
I hate that. I just looked at that and I thought, how dare you put that on that? Give me money to help me out. For what? Why would I give you money?
I mean, you don't have to. I'm just saying the ability to do that. Why not? Just do it.
I just don't like people asking for a handout. Yeah. Then don't get married. If you can't afford to get married, then don't get married.
Well, what about love? What about that union you were talking about?
Well, then go get go to the courthouse. Go to the courthouse and get married. You can get married for about $200.
I would rather give somebody money than give somebody like a thing. That's just me.
But isn't that hasn't then the thought been taken out of it? I mean, if your birthday's coming up and I hand you $50. Does it mean as much as if I figure out what you really like and I go find something for you that you would like?
No, because at the end of the day, the person getting it doesn't care. They'd much rather have $20 in their pocket.
I disagree with that. If I'm going to give you, if your birthday's coming up and I know you like the Duke Blue Devils,
sure,
or the New York Yankees, if I go out and get you a New York Yankee something that you don't have, a signed Mickey Mantle baseball. Okay. All right, and I give it to you, and I paid $125 for it. That's a lot better, and I go through a lot, and that makes me happier and you happier than handing you $125.
If you do that, I'm selling it for $300.
Of course you are.
I'm getting that cash.
Of course you are.
I don't know. I get what you're saying, and I get the meaning behind it. But at the same time, I think for a young couple, for somebody getting married, I think that they would much rather have the money
cash
to go buy what they want to buy.
Some people get you can do that
because the opportunity. Like, say you get them a dish set that they don't like,
but they register for it. They say, "Here's what we like. Here's a place you can go to get what we like."
I just think that's arrogant, though.
Well, that is tradition.
I really think that's arrogant. I really think buy me this. This is what I want.
Just putting it out there.
Exactly.
To begin.
Yeah.
So you think it's arrogant to put, here's the things we like, buy them for us, please, but not arrogant to write on the back of your windshield, I'm getting married, please give me money at this app. People you don't even know.
No. I don't think it's arrogant at all.
I think that is the height of arrogance and
because
the nerve to ask for money.
The people who make the registry make these expecting these gifts.
Yes.
The people who put that on the back, they don't expect any money. They're just doing because the possibility it might happen.
They get it, apparently. Yeah. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. It works. I'd rather them see them go out and stand in their tuxedo and on a street corner, and make a little game out of it.
Sure.
Make it kind of fun.
Or
at least you've done
with a
something.
bucket or something.
Yeah, at least you've done something.
Yeah.
It's like if somebody's just asking, pay me money, I don't do it. If somebody's playing a song in a Target parking lot, maybe. At least they're showing a little talent. They're out there working for it.
I guess
they're doing something for money. I don't like either one. Believe me.
Enough,
believe me. But I at least they're working because many of them are scam artists.
True.
Of course. They might even be getting married.
But that's the thing is at least the person just writing it on the back of their wallet. They're not trying to scam you out of anything.
Maybe.
That's totally your.
How well they might not be getting married though.
Yeah, but nobody's telling you a story or forcing.
Well, they're lying.
Anything.
Well, they're not forcing me to do it. I would never do it. Well, they are lying. If they're not getting married, they're lying. I mean,
true.
You could do that today.
Enough. Fair enough.
You should do that.
Yeah.
You should paint it on the back of your car.
Yeah.
And say, getting married in June. Here's my Cash App. Help us out. I bet you'd get $1,000.
Ooh.
By June, I bet you. And it's a lie. The whole thing is a lie.
What do I do with the money?
Donate
to charity?
Donate to charity.
No, I'm keeping it. I'm not giving anything to charity.
Put it into our podcast.
Buy $1,000 worth of Girl Scout cookies. That's what I'm doing.
Well, you won't get much. Put it into this podcast. That was good. There's a lot of hot takes in here today. See that? Yeah. That's hot taking.
We got heated today.
You told me to hot take, and then you come out and do it. You come out.
And you with your Christian values thing blew me away. I didn't even know you were going to go that deep on me.
I try. I try. Sometimes I do that. Yeah. It's basically what we've learned is Girl Scout cookies are too expensive, and because we're now not in church.
Everybody's stealing and scamming.
And busting into Targets and so forth. All right, that was a good one. That was our best one ever. I don't even know what episode it is. The best one ever.
13 maybe.
Is this 13?
I think it is 13.
Lucky 13. Yeah. All right, exactly. Well, anything else to say?
I said follow us on YouTube, and we're on Apple Podcasts right now as well, so you can listen while you're driving.
That finally happened.
Yes, we're on Apple Podcasts. All the other streaming platforms we're working on, but definitely Apple Podcasts right now.
Wonderful. Thank you. Good to see you, Stevie Shea. We'll see you again next week. Square in the Round.